What boy? Yeah, what boy? What boy? The sun is hot, the breeze is slow. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride go, yeah. That's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app, just one click, hopping fast. It's real quick. Right go. Where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Oh, oh. Right go. The good vibe show, fastest growing ride. Everybody know. Oh, oh. Right go. Where do you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Oh, oh. Right go. Let the good vibe show, fastest growing ride. Everybody know.
Where do you want to go?
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
Right along live, welcome to the live. Welcome to Tuesday on the live. Yes, Tuesday. Welcome one and all. Yeah man, how you guys doing? Good evening to you, Lydia Louisan. Good evening, how you doing? Only Grenada, island of two small. Okay, Grenada is too small and will sink. Okay, people started discussion already, boy. Whoa, we ain't even start yet, or let's start already. So guys, yeah, welcome to the ride. It's Tuesday, man. Of course, I'm your humble servant, Junior George. Happy to be here as always. Let me ask you a question though. When do you officially stop saying Happy New Year? Like it's the 12th of the month, 13th of the month already, right? And I'm in town today and people, hey, Happy New Year. I'm like, Worse yet. For those of you who still have all your Christmas light up, yo, take that down. Take it down. Right? And the Christmas tree. Christmas gone. We in the New Year's already. Oh yeah, it's January 13th already. January almost finished. February is a short month. March, April, May, and then happy 2027. That's it. So stop saying Happy New Year already. It's 13th of the month. All right? Okay? Nice. Yeah, man. Good evening, Denny's. Melissa Mark, how are you? Nice, 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 and nice. Guys, today we're going to be talking to a very having a very important conversation, right? A lot of you guys started the conversation without me under the post that we made. And we have a economist, PhD, a man that could really analyze these things and put it into perspective from many different levels, right? So Curlan Gilchrist is here with us to talk about what we're seeing happening in the Caribbean region now, right now, right? We're seeing a lot of things are happening. Last week, we did a story, we broke the story after the US basically downgraded Grenada and put it as a level 2 travel advisory. And it's bad because this travel advisory is what everybody used to make their determination if they want to go to that country or if they don't want to go to that country. And we all know that for a fact that what the US State Department have on their website does not represent the Grenada that we're in, right? That nutmeg, this flag, this coat of arms, that does not represent us. We are not a violent set of people. There is not an upsurge of crime in Grenada. Grenada is the safest place in the Caribbean. So what I was saying is that the authorities at the State Department possibly made some kind of error. I don't know. Or they basically carve out the region and say because of the proximity to Venezuela, because we're right to the Venezuela and Trinidad, all these places are to the south of us. And because of the proximity, that's why we got labeled. Because all the other islands upward of us, they are regular and normal, right? And that's pissing off a lot of people. But what's pissing off a lot of people, and the debate has started, is as of last week or so, we started to see a number of prime ministers of the region. We had Antigua, then we had Dominica, Roosevelt's carrot came out. Recently, we saw a published report that the US State Department is speaking with Guyana. The US State Department has spoken to and got a memorandum of understanding as announced by Prime Minister Drew in St. Kitts and Nevis, and they're eyeing Grenada. So far, there are no real confirmation at this point that we're speaking, but that doesn't mean that it is not in the works. It has not been requested. Here, what the request is. I don't have the official request in front of me, but just a sense of what the request is. As you can see, the US President Donald Trump is on a mission to deport as much people out of the United States as possible. People who have criminal records, some people who probably don't even have criminal records, regular people who live in the United States. They did not get their adjustment of status. They're living as undocumented in the United States for a period of time, or they may have been incarcerated for a period of time, and the policy is to deport. But there are some countries, right, that don't have any arrangement with the United States to accept migrants that are coming in from the United States. So for instance, Russia or possibly Venezuela, and some countries who don't have that arrangement with the United States to accept migrants, or they call deportees. They don't have that arrangement. America don't want them. The country don't want to take them. So America is saying, well, we have to send them somewhere. So here comes the idea of third country deportees. So they are asking countries. As of recently, they asked Ghana and other places in Africa to accept them. Some of them, under pressure, they accepted, they acceded to the request of the United States. As of recently, as I said earlier, Antigua, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, quite possibly Guyana, and we have a feeling that I said Grenada might be next. So, what should Grenada do? That's what we're going to be speaking about on the program here today with economists and really nice guy from Grenada, Sir Curlan Gilchrist. How are you doing, sir?
Very good, very good. I am from Houville. That's where the new hospital will be placed.
Yes, 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 yes.
I migrated to Grandance and I've been accepted by the community.
Okay.
We do have internal migration. You know, sometimes we say in Grenada, I don't want people from that village come down here, you know. You know that kind of thing.
Yes.
Perceived perceptions about people from a certain place, you know the kind of thing based on profiling. So
I hear that.
So it's great to be with you on the program tonight. I mean, I feel good about it, and let me say Happy New Year to you. No, but this week is the last of the Happy New Year's, right?
This week is the last. So next week, if somebody say Happy New Year, the outer bunks, right?
12, just this week is the last week. 15 days, right? On the 15th of January. So
okay.
It's the last. So
don't Happy New Year to you, Mr. Gilchrist.
It's great as we talking about this topic, and I know it's a hot topic, and I know it's really making the rounds in Grenada. And
yes.
I'm hoping tonight we would be rational about our conversation. We'll be sensible, be practical, and we use wisdom and impart wisdom among our people. And the way the world is going now, right across the globe, things that happen, we can't pretend not to. It will come to us. We just have to learn how to manage ourselves. Manage ourselves as we navigate the turbulent times.
Yeah. And we are
just have to, do what we can to navigate and advise our policymakers to hear from the people and make the right decision.
Right. So should I call you Dr. Gilchrist?
No, you can just call me Curlan for tonight.
Curlan. Okay. All right. I want to be respectful. So I did a summary. I did a summary at the introduction on where we are right now in reference to the policy of the United States to deport so many migrants that is currently in the United States. Give me your summary, what's happening or how we got to this point to be having this conversation in the first place.
Yeah, so you did an excellent summary in terms of kind of putting things in context, and in the context of what we are seeing the effects of the geopolitics and other things happening. Unfortunately, it's of a political nature. Prior to that, we had the issues of trade and investment and all these kind of arrangements that were reshuffling and taking place between the major powers, and developing countries unfortunately have to learn to survive. A couple of decades ago, we were talking about the non-aligned movement, a group of countries, developing countries, non-aligned. They're not aligned to either parties, either camp. But we are in a different dispensation now, where countries are looking after their own interests. I'm not here to say what's wrong about their country and what they want to do, but countries are looking after their own interests. We in the small islands, all right, we have an economy to develop. We have our own issues, all right, of providing a safe space for our people, and where we can strive and grow and develop, and it's a duty to ensure that we manage ourselves in these times. We have to use wisdom in these times. We have to be practical as we manage the turbulent times that we're in. So, in the context of what's happening in the region, I must say Grenada is in an ideal position, having seen what the other islands have done in terms of the memorandum of understanding with the government of America. I know people say chum this, and I prefer to refer it as the government of United States government, right? Having seen that, I think we are well placed now in whatever memorandum of understanding we agree to, to have the tenets and the elements of that agreement so designed that we can only benefit. And my central point as we speak tonight is that we do have an opportunity and
Right.
let's maximize it. Yeah.
Right. So let me find out from you, right? In this current dispensation, why would a country that have its citizens that traveled from that part of the world to the United States, why would a country refuse to take back their own nationals? From your perspective.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that borders political economics, right? And I'm saying that the economic and political climate in each country is totally different. Yeah. Some people flee because of persecution and victimization and whether they belong to this side of the politics or the other side, so they flee.
Right.
And it would be if they go back, then they're going back to a life of imprisonment, a life. Some countries, their life would be in danger if they go back, so they can't go back.
Right.
Right? So they're looking for some way to go. America don't want them. In the context that they have been there illegal and they have a policy of immigration policy, and we wouldn't get into that. Yeah. So they're looking for somewhere to go. These are people who would have migrated to look for a better life. And most people would have migrated. That's why I grew up hearing that conversation. You go to the land of opportunity, you're looking to better yourself, all right, to provide, get money. And here lies the thing we talk about with respect to migrant transfers and the barriers and all of that is because people migrated and are working hard and send back remittances to their country. So people there. You understand the point? So there are reasons why people cannot go back because of the danger to life and safety. They can't go back. Yeah?
Right.
If they try to go back, maybe the country would not accept them. And you're not talking about criminals now. You're not talking about criminals. The criminal issues is different. If you commit a crime, you have to pay for it. Right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's different. I'm talking about
That's to the minority. That's to the minority. Because from my assessment of looking at the state of play, we have the Caribbean islands, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't see any Caribbean island that don't have some sort of memorandum of understanding with the U.S. to receive their own migrants. I haven't heard any Caribbean government, prime minister, speak out and saying, well, listen, if John Doe came from, say, Trinidad and migrated to the U.S. and the U.S. want to deport John Doe back to Trinidad, I'm not going to receive him. I haven't heard any Caribbean island said that to date, which means that
you would never hear that because they would have left through the legal channels.
right. So the only countries,
Yeah, just a minute. If they would not have left via a boat or something.
right,
Yeah, they left through the legal channel process.
so the only countries, to me, what I see that may not have that arrangement are places that like probably Venezuela, probably Cuba, probably I'm not sure. I even think Colombia probably have some arrangement with the U.S. For that. So there are limited amount of countries who don't have that arrangement. Probably Russia, Korea, these other places, not Korea. So my question is to you, why would a country not want to take back their own citizens?
A good question. They have their reasons. They have their reasons. In the Caribbean, I know, for example, we all countries have taken back their own citizens.
Right.
But you're correct. And for some reason, these countries, because of the climate and the politics, refuse to take them back. I don't know if they feel it might contribute to political instability or what. All right, because people left because of politics. I mean, in Venezuela, the entire opposition, official opposition, was outside of Venezuela. Not so. They
Yes.
stayed. And of course, if they were to return, what the government would think, those are in power. So I'm saying the politics sometimes drive countries to make those decisions. We don't have that in the Caribbean.
Right. Okay.
We don't have that in the Caribbean.
So what we're seeing right now is something that I have not seen before in my lifetime. It probably happened before that, but I haven't seen it. So now the United States, with the bully pulpit that they have requested from countries like Antigua already, who signed a memorandum of understanding, St. Kitts, Dominica, to accept third party or third country refugees back into the country. What is your assessment and your take on that request, that MOU?
Yeah, so I will answer based on my understanding. And why I want to say on this program, I think we should also be preparing ourselves to accept them. Right? Start making the preparation and start preparing our people and preparing the social and economic conditions, all right, for accepting them and for easy assimilation. Yeah. So we should start doing that. And for my knowledge, I believe that those memoranda of understanding, agreements in principle, they would have what you call an operational agreement. Yeah, they would have an operational agreement that works out the details of taking and the numbers, for example, because we have a small population,
Right.
right? And the Caribbean in general is underpopulated. In general, in Grenada, for example, our population is not growing. Yeah, it's not growing, and it's even worrying. And in our population in Grenada, right as we speak, we are we have an aging population. Yeah, before we speak about a young population, the population is aging. All right, the fertility rate is two and getting lower. On average, a family should have two children to replace each other, right? To maintain the population. But we are below two, climbing down. So there are population issues. Yeah, when you look at the economics of it, right? A population of 110,000 persons in Grenada right now. Yeah, the working population is just about 50,000 that have to support the rest. Thank God we don't have an unemployment issue, right? But we do have an issue because we are lacking, we are suffering from people who want to work. We have a lot of work and there's nobody to take it up.
Right.
So I'm saying that there are economic factors now that exist in Grenada that if we leverage properly, yeah, and we sign up a memorandum of understanding, yeah, in the context of our needs, with good sense and wisdom, I believe we can get deportees that would be able to make a contribution to Grenada and also a contribution to their own lives and their livelihoods and their families. I
Right.
believe that can happen.
Right.
I notice we are afraid. I'm sensing a sense of everybody, afraid.
Yeah. Well, I just want to push back on what the population is saying. And to your point, I understand what you're saying, but of course there are many, 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 many questions and factors that could affect anyone in the islands who just broadly accept a memorandum of understanding like this. Like, for instance, who are these people? I don't want to call them these people like if they're aliens, that they're out of space. They are human beings, right? But should there be some sort of vetting process? And secondly, are the people that are coming in, should they at least, the caveat be they have to have some Caribbean background, they have to have some kind of affiliation to the Caribbean? Because what if someone is from Yugoslavia or from Russia or from North Korea, and they say, you know what, you have the memorandum of understanding to accept a third country, and here is 15, 20 people from wherever to assimilate into your country. Where do we start to assimilate? Where does the process start?
Right. So you have questions because nothing has been made official. There is no
Right.
official proclamation from the government. So there are
Right.
questions lingering in your mind. Yeah, and I suppose to everyone mind. Yeah, but let's put it this way. Grenada has not yet officially said it,
Right.
anything, right? So I'm reading it in a positive light. I'm
Right.
reading it in a positive light. It is because they are walking it through to answer, to take into consideration your concerns. Who are these people? What if they whether or not they have a police record? The vetting process. If it, how much would you take, size, or population size? The cost of settle them in. Who would bear that cost? I am sure the reason why our response, yes or no, is delayed because all those things have been taken into consideration, and I believe we should give the government credit for that. We didn't rush and just accept, and that's why I believe it's taking time before you get a response officially from the government, because these things are being looked at and
Right.
should be looked at. Yeah, so I think we should give credit to that. And while people have their concerns, I believe with wisdom it will be taken into consideration. But these people are coming; they are human beings, right? They are humans. They have families, yeah. And I'm sure we would not accept people who would affect our society in any significant negative way. I'm sure about that. But
Right.
it's correct for people to be concerned. But I do believe when it is announced, yeah, I believe also the information that will be given would alleviate most of the fears of the Grenadian population and will give them comfort to help in embracing, because the society have to accept it.
Right.
Yeah, we want that, and we want that.
Well, what we've seen so far is an acceptance of this memorandum of understanding already by, I said, Antigua, Dominica, St. Kitts, Nevis, and I believe Guyana. So there's a precedent already set. These countries have already ascended to the request of the United States and say, yes, we will do that. So of course, they have considered it. They look at the ins and out, the positive, the negative, and they said it. So we're not standing alone on this. There's precedents already set in the region. But the question is, why the Caribbean? And I'm asking this question because those are the questions that are on people's mind. And I think I have my reason why is the Caribbean. I think I have a reason why is we're getting this request. But I want to hear from a broader perspective. Why the Caribbean? Like why us? Like where we already have our problems. We're small without no resources.
Yeah. Well, there are some nice things about the Caribbean, right? I mean, a
Right.
couple of weeks ago, we were hearing that the Caribbean should remain a zone of peace, right?
Right.
We are peaceful people. We're friendly. I mean, there are some positive attitude about the Caribbean that I don't know if it is if it is an attraction.
Right.
Yeah, if it's an attraction for what's going for why the request is made. I don't know, but I'm saying sometimes they say your strength could be your weakness. You ever hear that phrase?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think there are some we are attracted, and I'm saying let's see how we could maximize. And I'm speaking as a Grenadian and knowing the challenges we have as Grenadians. Let's see how we could fashion a memorandum of understanding to our benefit.
Right.
And let's try and fashion it to our benefit. And of course, we would advise the government to use wisdom, yeah, and use knowledge and use based on what they know what's happening with the other islands, in crafting something for us that would satisfy the Americans, quote unquote, and
Mhm.
also we would benefit. But it seems as though we have no choice.
Right. Well, talking about have no choice, let's look at the elephant in the room, the big old elephant in the room, my brother. The big
What's
old
that
one.
elephant?
The big old elephant in the room. The question, the big elephant in the room is the question of the bigger countries, or the bigger country for that matter, that have the power is bullying the Caribbean. And it's not like we want to say no, we cannot say no. Is it that we are placed in a position that is not that it's not a perfect scenario? In a perfect world, we will not choose and say, you know what, let's take third party migrants here. Let's take deportees that are not from here. Let's take them here, right? Let's bring them in. In a perfect world, we don't want this. But how much of this is bullying? How much of this is the bigger country handing down and telling us we have no choice but to do this?
No. Also, bear in mind, let's broaden it a bit.
Uh-huh.
It's not just the devotees, is at hand. We also have the request for the radar. All right.
We had the request for the reader. Yes, yes.
Right. And also the issue of the Cuban medical brigade was
Right.
also raised.
Yes.
So these are three issues.
And visas, because
And,
I heard,
and then the visa. So we have what, 4 or 5 issues?
yes,
4 or 5 issues at all. So let's look at all of them. 4 or 5 issues. Um, we have not we have stood our ground on all of them, if I'm correct. All right, we made some
standing still.
adjustment.
Some of them are still standing.
Yeah. But we made some adjustment to the Cuban brigade. All right, I did hear the minister say that they made some adjustments to the agreement. Yeah, in terms of the distribution.
Well, there's more to, there's the fishes, there's the fish too.
Yeah,
And
but
there's travel, and then there's a travel restriction. So and it could get worse. Eh? I just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
add that into this.
So it's not just, so put all of that in context. We do have the restriction on the our exporting fish to America, but that is a regulatory standard issue. I mean, you get caught up in the politics, but it's really to me is a regulatory standard trade issue, right?
Okay.
And that to take a different route in terms of its solutions. Yeah. And so I want to take that one out really, but we have other issues,
Right.
and we have been standing tall. All right, we have been standing tall, but here we are saying, and I am advocating, all right, with respect to the deportees, quote unquote, accepting people from third countries. Yeah, I am saying this is one where I strongly believe that we could maximize and turn it into an opportunity, all right, in terms of as we move Grenada forward. But I'm also saying for that to be achievable, the parameters of the memorandum of understanding, the elements must be carefully fashioned, right? So that we could maximize. Otherwise, we would defeat the purpose of it. Just one example, yeah, can just wipe away the benefit from taking deportees. And I'm sure, we Grenadians, we watching to see how they're behaving and all kind of stuff, you know. But I just want to encourage the population to look at this as they are humans, they have families, people seeking to make a decent livelihood. And I'm hoping that our government will use wisdom to ensure at least when we take them, that it would be accompanied by some financial package, yeah, to assist us because we can't do this by ourselves. all right, to provide housing and all of that. And of course, they had to get work permit. And of course, we have the private sector, of course, is not just government, it's the country we're talking about here. When they come, they're not just coming to the government, they're coming to a country. You have a private sector. So all of that is important to get everybody on board so we could smooth right, any negative consequences associated with them coming. So this is why you and I are having this conversation. Is everybody's business.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not just about the government, and we don't want them to take a boat and because we are porous, we have many entry points in Grenada. We don't want that.
Right.
We want them come through the proper channels, get
Okay.
a work permit, and organize them properly.
So are you saying that, and I get the sense that what the other countries have done, they weigh the pros and the cons. You see? You put the pros and you say, well, listen, if the United States is saying to XYZ country, in order for your nationals to travel to the United States, they have to put on $15,000, right, as a bond to get a visa. That would restrict probably about 95 to 99% of a population of a Caribbean country who have 15,000 US dollars sitting there, right? To just go and get a visa to go to the United States to shop or go to a wedding or what have you. That would wipe out the visa in most Caribbean countries. So that is essentially a problem. Or the bigger country could say, well, listen, if you don't abide by these restrictions, then we'll take away the visa from your elected official. They can't even come to the UN General Assembly. They can't move. They can't come to the United States. Or they could even do worse. They could put embargo. They have US currency. You cannot trade in US currency. It's so many different things. You are economists, so you know all of these things that are at play.
Yes, we are tied to America. Our economy is tied to America.
So the country now is weighing out the pros and the cons, and they're saying, you know what, man, you know what? Let's just take them. How much of it is that? How much of this is what we're looking at right now, or is that
I think, yes, you are being practical, yeah, and you are being realistic, and I believe all that is in the equation, all right, and you're correct. I believe you look at the pros and the cons, yeah, more pros than cons, and you make a decision, and you move forward with it. No. Grenadians, we getting upset, we getting emotional. I mean, and that is understandable. Yeah,
right?
that is understandable. And I'm just trying to say, look, let's. I mean, it's all about managing the risk. Let's trust those in authority to make the right decision. Okay, there would be consultation. I mean, the Caribbean islands that are already in the deal, information are being shared. Yeah. So we're not alone. So I think there is comfort with us in Grenada, knowing that we are the tail end of responding to the request. So I'm asking for calm, to be rational, and to consider everything. We benefit tremendously from remittances from abroad. We benefit tremendously from grants from countries. All right. We turn our eye to the socioeconomic condition of those countries and the political situation in those countries, and we accept their grants, we accept their gifts, and and all of that. We do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying, unfortunately, I mean, we are confronted with that situation now with a request from the American government, and I believe that we could turn that from negativity to positivity if the agreement is carefully mapped out, yeah, carefully mapped out. We put our policy makers there, and our politicians there, our ministers there, all right, to act on our behalf, all right. And I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they would say yes, right, with a with to the framework agreement. But when they get to the details of the agreement, right, I believe they would craft something out that would minimize any negative fallout from this from the decision. And I'm hoping that as Grenadians, we look at these people as humans, all right, and we are caring people. We love people. Grenada is a loving people. We love
Right.
each other. We're peaceful, right? And if you put sometimes a wicked man going a nicer environment, change him,
We change the environment. You don't want.
Yeah.
Listen, listen.
How you gonna behave bad when the environment around you is good? So we have an opportunity. We have an
Yeah.
opportunity. All right.
You know, I see people. I see people posting here, right? And you know, one thing that's coming to my mind: are we beginning to song like them? Like, for instance, right? I lived in the United States for 35 years, 30 something years, a lot of years. I moved there when I was a teenager. I lived there for a lot of years. And I remember being in New York, and I'm traveled all over the United States. Sometimes you get this sense of the people from there saying, we don't want you here. You come in here to take, we walk. You come in here to take away what we have, right? And then now I'm hearing this request, and I'm hearing, we sung in a lot like that. We don't want them. They come in to take we thing. They come in to take what we have. And I remember feeling like, someone in someone else's place, and I just need to just come do what I have to do and get out. I never really put my bags down and say, you know what, I'm here to live. That's the reason why I'm in Grenada right now, and I'm using everything that I have to build what I could spend here in this country. So the question is, are we starting to sing a little like them? Are we becoming like that?
And we don't want that. There's enough jobs for everybody. All right. Area construction, we can't find workers. And I'm not talking about even skilled workers, even at the unskilled level. And even they raise the daily wage. All right. We have the minimum wage for construction for labor around $65. And if you do a check now, no labor work for $65 to tell you the idea of the demand and supply that drives the wage up. Labor is now working for $80, $90, $100 when the minimum wage is just about 65. So the point I'm making is that we need people. We need people to work. We have enough work, right? We have enough work. The last set of statistics, what did it say? The unemployment rate is around just over 7%, right? And here what? I would say, I'm a statistician also. So I would say that result, that statistic showed 7.5%. If you put a margin of error of, say, 3 to 5%, really and truly, it could be 3%. And in theory, a 3% unemployment rate is considered full employment. So we do not have, and statistically speaking, we do not have an unemployment problem, right?
Right.
We don't have that.
What about assimilation? And as I said earlier, most of the countries that are saying no are what we consider rogue countries, is not Caribbean countries. Let me, case in point, I looked at the Memorandum of Understanding as announced by all the Caribbean islands, and I saw St. Kitts. I heard the Prime Minister of St. Kitts mention the arrangement that they have with the United States. And one of the things that he said in his Memorandum of Understanding signed by the US, he said that the agreement is such that we will only receive deportees or migrants or refugees from the Caribbean region. So if they don't have Caribbean affiliations or whatever, St. Kitts won't accept them. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, God damn it, that is a perfect agreement, because we already know that we have CARICOM and we have the same arrangement in CARICOM. That's one. And two, all the Caribbean leaders have accepted deportees or refugees coming back to their countries. So essentially, St. Kitts and Nevis memorandum of understanding will mean that they get zero. They won't get nobody.
That's smart, eh?
Very, very, very smart.
That's bad. So what you implying that we should have something like that, right?
Well, if any agreement have to be made, and based on what I heard, St. Kitts and Nevis agreement is the best arrangement. And again, we're doing this under duress. Eh? You like somebody have a knife in your throat, and they say, make a decision. do something, boy, do something, say something. Under duress, right? Under duress, you're not doing it because you love the idea so much. You're doing it because you have to do it. Oh God, I have to do it. Survival. St. Kitts and Nevis arrangement is the best arrangement. So I'm saying
So far.
So I'm saying if Grenada have to make that arrangement, and I want people to look at this thing very carefully. I don't think St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, Dominica, they are not making this decision because they want to or because they like it. They're doing it simply because, from my understanding, because it is a necessity to make that decision. They have to make that decision. Otherwise, face the consequences. We know what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Plain and blank and simple. So it's not a matter of just saying, no, I don't want to, I'm not going to be a part of it. Then the whole population is going to sit there and cry when they start to get a squeeze from the United States.
Yeah.
So we're in that situation here.
Yeah. So we saying that we admonishing our government to say yes to the understanding, and we are hoping that in that agreement, right, that it reflects what we want as a Grenadian people. Yeah. So let's hope that best practice would prevail, and the Caribbean, the governments, the prime ministers speak to each other. Yeah. And I like how you reference St. Kitts. Yeah, St. Kitts has a population maybe about, I don't know, 60,000 people. Yeah, and Antigua is about 70, Dominica is about 70, Grenada 110. So there is room from a population planning perspective. There is room. So in other words, let's be real. You think if we take, let us say Grenada accept 100, right? You think they would be in your face? How you go, you see them? You go in the supermarket, you see them? Would they be in your face?
Well, I think people are not thinking about that.
Right.
People are thinking about these people probably. What if they are criminals? They're thinking, what if they're racist or not racist, rapists? What if they're this? What if they're that? Because right? And I don't like to label people at all. They're not going to be in your face. But what if? Or if there was such upstanding citizens, and America always tried to get the most upstanding people in the United States, why did America keep them? Why America keep them?
Yeah, why didn't they get documentation? That's what I'm trying to see.
And that too. That is another thing. And yes, I want to get to that. But first thing, if they were so upstanding and they could contribute so much, why didn't America keep them? Because they are part of citizenship from many different levels. You could be, if you someone that have a special talent, you could get a U.S. Status. If you are someone who has like an Olympian, you could get U.S. If you have a major investment in business, you could get U.S. citizen.
If you're married to a citizen.
If you're married to a citizen, there are so many different ways, and there are a lot of people. And I'm not dangling on people. There are a lot of people, even from my country that I see, living in the United States. They leave Grenada and the Caribbean region. They migrate to the United States. And for donkey years, they're not thinking about adjusting their status. They're thinking about doing the same thing and not thinking about how they could change their status so that they could live comfortably in the United States and try to live the American dream. A lot of people don't think that way. So they live 20, 30 years in the United States and their status is the same. So you might as well go back home.
They get caught up with the broad sweep now.
Yeah, they get caught up. So if that is the case, if you're living in the United States You can't work legally. You're not able to function properly. You're scared to go to the doctor if you get sick. You're scared to send your kids home to school if they go into school. You're scared to get on the bus, and you can't work. You might as well leave, come back home, because home is sweet. Sweet home. I talk about 10 mango already for the day, and nobody do arrest me. Nobody can arrest me. Nobody can deport me.
Wait, they stopped 10 mangoes?
10 mangoes.
Oh,
I talk about 5 this morning. I'm not come home and see someone that.
I'm sure you got that from the neighbor, right?
No, I have a mango tree right in my yard.
Yeah, but what you in the yard?
Right in my yard. Home sweet, Grenada nice. I volunteer. I left. I came here. I've been here for 5 months, going on 6 months, and I ain't
So
living.
let's share the sweetness, no? Let's share the sweetness.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but they have to be some, as you said, and rightfully so, there have to be some level of vetting. There have to be level of vetting. And what are we getting? We have to know what we're getting. We have to understand who are coming. We have to know. And then we have to say, well, how are we going to maintain? How are we going to maintain? Are we going to get a lump sum package? Are we going to get financial assistance? Are we going to get housing assistance? What is the package? How are we going to survive? All of these things need to be factored in. And I'm not sure, I don't know, because we don't have any official statement. We're saying if that were to be the case for Grenada, what would be the decision? What would be the arrangement? And we could only assume.
Yes, and I'm saying that I understand these questions. I'm sure when the details are out, a lot of these fears would be alleviated. I'm sure about that. It's not that they are coming here and sit down and depend on the government. Yeah, these are people who can have what it takes to earn a decent living. So I don't foresee them coming and depend on the government to feed them and house them and so on. So and
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Where they getting the money from? Where they getting the money from?
No, I'm saying, I mean, once they have a skill or the means to earn a living, they'll get a job. Yeah, whether it's government or private sector, they have to work. You can't eat if you don't work, and that's a basic principle.
So why they ain't work in the United States and change the status?
But remember, well, I saw most of them working out there. They just didn't change their status,
Okay.
but they're working. And when their status didn't change, I suppose they're not paying taxes. And that would piss the Americans off. They are very, very, very strict on paying your taxes, eh? You know that. So here in Grenada, you work and you earn and you pay your taxes. All right. In America, you undocumented, you may get away from not paying taxes because you're under the radar. You're not in the formal sector. Yeah. But once you come here, I assume that of course they'll get a work permit. Yeah, in order to work, and they make their contribution to the state. They pay their taxes as normal like everybody else. And
Right.
also, I'm putting on the table that I assume that the numbers will be small, right, to begin with, right,
Right.
and manageable.
Well, yeah, okay. Let me open up the phone lines here. 718-701-5720. Thank you so much, Mr. Gilchrist, for chatting with us here and giving us your insight on what might be inevitable situation. We already saw the requests for Dominica, St. Antigua, St. Kitts, and possibly Guyana, and their decision. Grenada might be just next, right? We don't have any formal paperwork or MOU to show you, but we have the feeling that that's what's coming through the wire, right? So let's open up the phone line, 718-701-5720. The question is, what's your thoughts on this, right? What should Grenada do if the request is sent out? Should Grenada flat out say no and eat the consequences of saying no? Because every action, you get a reaction. And how would that reaction play out? And would you be comfortable saying no and living with the consequences of that action? We know what we're dealing with. We know the kind of person we're dealing with. We know what Washington looks like right now. We understand what's happening. Could we live with the consequences in the Caribbean right here? with the possible fallout of saying no. I know a lot of people getting emotional about it. We don't want them here. I understand. But there are foresights. There are things that you have to see way ahead, and probably things that we're not even considering that an administration will have to consider in the long run. So again, 718-701-5720. That is my number. You can call anytime. Call on the direct line so we could talk here on the program. So just again, Mr. Curlan, you're saying that if given that request, we should say yes with regularly terms and conditions. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, terms and conditions.
Yeah. So it's not a blanket yes. Yeah, we say yes and we sit down and work with the arrangements, and so we can get the best out of it. But I'm also saying that there's a strong economic reason why we should say yes. All right, I'm underlining the economics of it. Now, most Grenadians, including myself, will be concerned about the social and other effects. Yeah, but I'm saying the economy we could do well with a couple of people in Grenada. We're not making them, right? So we have to import them. We're not making them.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
We are shrinking population.
Okay. All right.
It's not good for business, you know.
Okay. You know,
Yeah.
Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley made a statement where she said that the Caribbean region, we need more people, essentially. But I'm not sure she was talking about it in that.
Okay.
She made a very strong statement, powerful statement, supporting the fact that we need more man resources. We need more human resources in the Caribbean.
But you know, I know previous administration, and maybe still is, you know, there is always this concept of reverse migration.
Right.
Yeah. Trying to get, in simple terms, get our people abroad to come back. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I think still exists. There are incentive packages for returning nationals.
Yeah.
So I believe we are trying to attract our own people to come back. And so.
Yeah, no, let me tell you, I think, and I would be the poster child, right? If that question were to be asked of me, I'd be the poster child to say that Grenadians abroad who live in the United States, live in Canada, live in England for an extended period of time, come home. Let me take this call. I have someone that just called in on the phone line. Let me see if I could bring them up live here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here. Caller live. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Maryland.
Maryland, go right ahead.
I listened to part of your discussion, and I think what we're overlooking is the fact that from Haiti to Venezuela, there is a lot of oil. Venezuela has the crudest, but along the way, it's lighter crude. It's easier for them to develop, refine. So we have that, and it's close by. So it's no need to go all the way to the Middle East to get it. It's easily accessible. In addition, Grenada especially has a lot of places that are in acute demand for health care. We're overlooking that as we build somatic care facilities on island, but the big demand currently in health care is for things that we have in our kitchens and our backyards in Grenada, and we're overlooking them. But that's where a number of doctors are changing their practices to those types of remedies for diabetes, the cinnamon, the clove, and all of that. We're overlooking that. So what I see is an opportunity for us to do on the model of Singapore, to use what we have and build up. We might be small, but if we plan smartly and use smartly, and I agree with that suggestion we might be able to somehow negotiate for the type of people that are coming into the island, if we can, and use them as labor and stop with the arrogance and the, putting down on the U.S. who we depend on, and see it as an opportunity, but negotiate. Our diplomatic people need to negotiate for the fact that we have been put at category 2. Have they ever petitioned that? Are they afraid to? Because this is an opportunity to say these people are used to negotiating. The president is used to that from New York. Why aren't we saying, okay, if you give us this, we'll give you that? Or you reduce us to 2, could we please understand why and have that addressed higher for our tourism? We are acting passive, we are acting afraid, and they never would respect us if we don't show that we have some sort of bravery or chutzpah. We are brilliant people. We're educated.
Right.
Yet many of us are not using what we have.
Right. Thank you, Carla. We appreciate you and your input as well.
Love your show. Keep up the good job. Thank
you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Any response, Sir Curlan?
Well said, and well said, and to the point. It's all about negotiation. As the Americans say, let's work a deal, right?
Right.
Yeah, but we have to engage, yeah. And that's my point. We have to engage. They make a request, yes, but we have to engage.
Right.
We have to engage.
Roger Tucson said it's time for the Caribbean to join together and fight the fight. Now the question is, how do we fight this? How do we fight the fight? We're a country that physically we can't fight. Forget about physical fight because we can't engage as a region. CARICOM could only put out a very strong statement as the UN, but nothing is changing the decision, right? How do we fight this?
We negotiate. We bargain. We have dialogue. We see to what extent we could influence the arrangement to our benefit. I suspect that's the fight the person is talking about. Having a common position as to the elements of the agreement. So one country don't agree to A and another one B and C. We have a common approach as to what the deal should look like for accepting, the and these people. Yeah, I suspect that's where the fight is. Coming together, having common positions, engaging as a block, as as one people, engaging, striking a deal, whether through diplomacy or otherwise. That's the engagement. But we got to do together, not divided. Yeah. So right now, here the position we are in, we are looking at what Dominica did and what Antigua did, and we should not be in that position. But we are in it. Okay, so we are taxed. So that's what we have to deal. But we shouldn't. You see where I'm coming from? We shouldn't. Yeah. Here we are, one country. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what the caller is indicating, that we should be together as we address and confront the challenge that is before us. It's a matter of confronting it, use whatever leverage we have, and to craft something out, right, that is beneficial to our country. But
we have another call on the line. We got a caller. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Oh, good night. Good night to you guys. Good night to your listeners. I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Hey, how are you doing, Brooklyn?
I'm good. I speak from my knowledge, my experience, my training, my certification, and I think anybody else does that. And one of the things we have to be mindful of is facts and factual in when we speak. On the question of increased population, because our population is not large enough, I wonder if Mr. Curlan Gilchrist can tell us what is the ideal population for Grenada. I wish to go a little bit further. When we're talking about accepting nationals from other countries, when the world was created, it was created for everybody to move freely around. And that's my view and my concept, and I have no problem with that. But let's use an example in the United States. You have what, about 320 million people? You probably have about 15 million immigrants, people who are not, they don't have any proper status. Well, that is only 4.6% of the entire population of the United States. If Grenada is to accept anybody and they use that same yardstick of accepting 4.6%, 4.6875%, that means only 5%. You know, so going back to what Gilchrist on the question of we need to increase our population. We have to have some sort of resource availability. We're talking about land, we're talking about food, we're talking about energy. So could you give us an idea of what number you're talking about? If we should increase the Grenada population by 5,000, 20,000, 200,000, or just by 10. We need to be really realistic and factual. And as a statistician, as an economist, we shouldn't just talk from the wideness of our mouth, but we should speak with facts. And we should speak with examples from other countries.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. Any response, Mr. Curlan?
Yeah. No, I made reference to increasing the population. And there are tremendous benefits from increasing your population. Now, he's asking what percentage you should increase your population by. Yeah? And of course, when we do population plan and population and so on, there's what they call a natural increase in the population. Yeah? And the natural increase is what? When you have more births than deaths. Then that's what called a natural increase. Anything above that is due to maybe migration and so on. And is that natural increase that we said is minimal. The births and the deaths are almost close to each other, right? We get about over 2,000 births and the deaths are just climbing close to that. And
Right.
it's that gap we're talking about we want to widen. Yeah? So in terms of facts, that's where my comment came from. That's where my comment came from. And so he should not be worried about that statement because I think the natural increase in the population, consistent with the other islands, is that's where you're going. All right, and there are countries like in China that had a population policy that have reversed. They want to depopulation now. What happened? They want to repopulate. Yeah, so they have incentives. Okay, because they're looking at that same ratio. All right, you and a family must replace each other at minimum, and that's a yardstick. So we are saying that right now the fertility rate is less than 2. Right? From a targeted position, you want to get it to 2. To 2. If you go beyond that, fine. But at least you want to get there. And I am advocating we got to reverse that decline, all right, of the fertility rate under 2 to get it back to 2. And that's the target I'm talking about for Grenada.
Okay. We have another caller quickly on the WhatsApp. We have about 5 more minutes and then we have to shut it off, respecting your time, sir. Let's take this quick call. Caller live, where are you calling us from on the WhatsApp?
I'm calling from New York.
New York, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just want to put in my 2 pence. I just think that people coming to Grenada, I think it's a good. I just think that they should screen the people, make sure that they has no criminal background. That's 1. 2, I think that it's going to be good for the economy. Also, as a business person, I know you're a businessman. The Caribbean, I would say the Caribbean or Grenada, is the only place where you have to beg somebody to come to work. You understand? If you have people that need a job, you got people that need a job. So when you say 7 o'clock, they go be there 10:50. You understand? You are a businessman. And you know when you need somebody to come to work and they don't come to work, it affects the whole business.
Right.
So personally, from that aspect, I think it's hand done. It will be good because you know what? People going to respect that job and take it seriously. You know, that's my 2 pence. I can be wrong, but that's my 2 pence. I'm not going to go more.
All right. Thank you, caller. Thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate you. Yes. What's your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, excellent. And that's the point I'm making in terms of economics. And he's correct. He's in New York, but he understands the work culture. So he must have been making regular visits to Grenada, right? But we understand the culture. And that's the precise point. So there's no such thing as, well, okay, the meeting start, come to work for at 8 Grenadian time. What is 8 Grenadian time? 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock. Yeah, so those are the kind of discipline and intentional consequences you will have when you have a workforce that has to compete and own the work and the job. It's the kind of discipline that will get into the workforce. All right. And so those are economic benefits, as I said, but my central point is that we say yes to the arrangement and we try our best to negotiate and leverage and carve out the parameters that would give us the maximum benefit from the deal. And we have other islands that have done it. We can take you from them and see what we can do to benefit. But I think the economy really needs the additional lever. And of course, I mean, when I say parameters, for example, we could say, apart from we don't want criminals and all of that, you could say, you could put an age limit. Yeah, we could say, okay, you only want people within the working age, between what, maybe 15 and 60 or 15 and 50. You could put things in so that you get people who are able-bodied and can work and earn and live in, and they have to depend on the state. So there are a lot of things we can put into agreement, but we have to engage. We have to engage, and we have an opportunity to engage. As we say yes, we have an opportunity to engage.
Okay. Valid point, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this matter. I know that there'll be many more discussions on this in rum shops, in barber shops, on the streets for the rest of the week, as people try to navigate what's next if Grenada were to say yes and accept MOU from the United States, as was done in the other islands in the Caribbean region. Thank you, Mr. Curlan Gilchrist. We appreciate you. And we said an hour, we did a little bit over that, 13 minutes, but don't worry. We're going to see a knock a glass soon.
Okay, okay. I'll hold you to that, right?
Yeah, but on me. It's on me.
Independence coming up, right? So don't worry, I'll hold you to that.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks a lot, and thanks for having me. Feel free to call me anytime. Anytime I'm available to share my own, ideas and beliefs and,
Yes.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you again, sir. Thanks for your time. Yeah. Thanks to Mr. Gilchrist on his ideas on the way forward here if Grenada were to say yes to that request. All right. Guys, before we go on a quick break, let me just big up and say this. You guys been hearing about it. We've been speaking a lot about it. It's the Ride ATV. So we have some new tours. You know about the e-bike, you know about the tuk-tuk, but we're launching ATVs, right? ATV tours. And let me tell you, if you have never participated in these tours, listen, you're missing out a lot, all right? You're missing out a whole lot. So what you need to do right now, if you want to book your next tour, for the next 2 weeks, I think we sold out already. We sold out already for the next 2 weeks, but there's still ample space. Is the Ride ATV Grenada. That's it right there, Ride ATV. All right, so how do you book for the Ride ATV? Let me put it up on the screen right here. Right here, yeah, that's it. So that's the Ride ATV click that link and book for the next available date, all right? Also, I gotta tell you about the Ride Go. Yeah, Ride Go, this is like a taxi app. While I was here, guys, you probably heard my phone buzzing. That's every time a trip comes in. So people are really hip to Ride Go. Ride Go is the app that will take you from point A to point B really fast. But you guys should check out Ride Go. Let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be back with my wrap up on this. Don't move, we'll be right back.
There's a new way to move in Grenada. Ride Go. Ride Go is here. Ride Go. Where do you want to go?
Are you a progressive young leader, a proactive emerging executive, a rising professional? Then you need appropriate cover for your vehicle. Introducing the Pro Motor Plan from Beacon. Car insurance that includes free loss of use, windscreen cover up to $3,500, free special perils, free accident forgiveness. Get Beacon's Pro Motor Plan today. Don't procrastinate. Call Beacon today at 440-4447 or visit beacongrenada.com.
$10 on Playway, $20 backup on Pick 3, and cash for each, please.
Okay, are you adding multi-X to your bet?
Yes, multi-X, all of them.
Smart! Best value bet. Backup and multi-X, you cannot go wrong.
Don't matter the bet, multi-X all of the daily games.
With multi-X added, your winnings can be multiplied 3 times, 5 times, even 7 times. So make it a rule. Add multi-X to all your Playway, daily pick 3, and daily cash for bets every day and for every drop, and watch your money grow. Available at stores and online.
You heard it here. Multiply your winnings daily. Must be 18 or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Again, guys, I want you to check out the Ride ATV if you're going to be in Grenada and you want to have one of the best tour excursion on the island. It's Ride ATV. Check it out today. Go to ride.gd, that's ride.gd, that's RYDE.gd, and book. Or you can call 473-422-1011. That's ride.gd. Also, guys, don't forget, if you're flying to Grenada, JetBlue. Yeah, man, jump on a JetBlue, only about 4 hours, and you're in, you reach, you know. No time, you reach. JetBlue.com. Check it out. And of course, Ride Go. You need a taxi tonight. Like, you need somebody to pick you up right now. Like, right this minute. Download the app. It's Ride Go in your app store. And just tap the app. You get a taxi coming and pick you up right in your home, taking you anywhere you want to go. Most convenient, guys. Even if you don't think that you need it today, you might need it tomorrow. You might have a flat tire. Who do you call? Ride Go. Like, you know, who you call Ghostbuster? Ride Go. Where do you want to go? All right, guys, I got to thank you for watching. Let me just conclude on this note, guys. This situation that we find ourselves in, that the government or the head of state of the Caribbean found themselves in, is not, I'm sure, it's not something that they are excited about. It is not something, it's not a decision that they would make. At least I don't believe it's a decision that they would make or believe that is the best thing to do right now. I believe that these head of state, these countries, these islands of the Caribbean region are making this decision and weighing out their options. Now think about it. We as a Caribbean region, like it or not, the United States is mostly our number one source market. Most of our tourism comes from the United States. Most of our remittances comes through the United States. Most of our family who get visas and who reside, who are permanent residents, they live in the United States. And by them being there, millions of dollars in remittances is sent back to the Caribbean region. You wouldn't believe, but if you take a look at the GDP, you'll see how much of that contribute to the GDP of a small island like Grenada. The tourism, most of the cruise ships that come to our borders. Today we had two. We had a cruise ship because I was around doing tours today. And this could end, this could stop, right? If the US put some kind of embargo or make a decision that this cruise ship cannot, or any cruise ship that flag the US cannot come to these particular countries. Then there is a question of visa restrictions and how these visa restrictions could affect the general population, not just the political leaders, not just government officials, but the regular people. There is an experiment out right now, as I said, where they're asking, in some countries, there are visa restrictions where they said that, okay, you want to come? Here's what. Your country have a high rate of overstay. So in order to get a visa, you have to put down 15,000 US dollars as a bond. Now think about it. Most people who want to go to the US, as I said earlier, don't have 15,000 US dollars to put down as a bond. Especially you probably just go in to a friend's wedding, or you might just want to go and shop in Florida. You don't have $15,000 US put aside there, right? All of these stuff could significantly affect the general population. Not to mention, we saw what happened recently with the downgrade of Grenada. And Grenada now is been seen, showcased around the world as a place that have some increase in crime, when that is not the case. That is not the case. All these things could get far worse. So it's not a decision that any government official is making and they love the decision. I believe that they're making this thing under duress. They have no better option than to say yes. Roosevelt's carried. I'm sure he's not sitting there and loving that decision. So let's wait and see what happens in Grenada's situation. Let's wait and see what happens in Guyana's situation. Guyana found oil, the fastest growing economy. That could all change significantly if the US put embargo on Guyanese oil. So Guyana is saying, well, the risk is too much. How it's going to affect the average life of the people of Guyana. So accepting some deportees or refugees might be a small price to pay, a small pie, a small bite in the pie, and they're willing to take that risk than to take the other. So look at it from that perspective, guys. It is not a lovely decision, it's not the best decision, but it's a decision nonetheless. We know what we're working with. We've seen how the administration of the United States, we've seen how they work, we've seen what they do, we saw what they did in Venezuela. And a lot of countries are just shaking because they're saying, wow. There is no way that Grenada can say, let's fight this physically. There's no way that Grenada or CARICOM or islands of the Caribbean can say, let's fight this politically. We can't. We're too small. We're a dot, right? And how do you deal with a situation like that? where some people say it's not rational. The decisions are being made haphazard all over the place. It's not a cohesive thought. You know, you can assess. You can assess someone that is just not accessible, if that is such a term. But the truth and the fact is, the leaders of the Caribbean region are making these decisions under duress, but nonetheless, they have to make the decision. And no could be 100 times worse. And I think that's what Gilchrist was saying, Curlan was saying. Is it that it's 100 times worse if they don't assent to the decision of the United States? But I continue to say that this will be an ongoing debate in barbershops tomorrow, I'm sure, in workplace, people saying and standing firm on their decision. And there's nothing wrong with, speaking about your preference of what you think that the decision would make. But I think we all need to keep an open mind and understand why Guyana had to do it, why all these countries have to do it, and why we might have to do it as well. We'll continue to follow up and let you guys see and hear as if any decision is made, you'll hear it here first on Ride Along Live. We'll bring it to you. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for being a part of our program. I also got to say, guys, that we're going to Africa. We're going to Ghana, right? We are going to Ghana in April, and we want you guys to come along. This is the information. We're going to Ghana April 2016 to the 26th, and we still have a few more spots available. If you want to go Ghana with us, go to touchafrica.com. That's touchafrica.com, or you can call 347-942-4641. Write it down. 347-942-4641. We are going to Ghana April 16 to the 26th. We're going to touch Africa. All right, lots happening in Africa. Want to see you guys there. For more information, you could even inbox me and I'll tell you more information of where you could look, where to go for our Ghana trip. Thank you so much. Ride Along Live. Lois JJ is our producer. Ride Along Live every day right here on the platform. Thanks for supporting. Check out the app, guys. Check out the app. Seriously, check out the app. Right? Check out the app. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Good night.
The sun is hot, the breeze is low. I need a ride. Where do I go? Ride, go, yeah. That's the name. Island roads will never feel the same. Tap the app, just one click, hopping fast. It's real quick. Ride, go. Where you wanna go? To the beach, to the street, let the island flow. Ride, go, let the good vibes show. Fastest growing ride, everybody know.
Tuk-tuk now available on Ride Go. Book now.
Looking for the ultimate island experience? Hop on the Ride Tuk-Tuk Rum Punch Tour and explore Grenada like never before. Feel the tropical breeze, sip on authentic Caribbean rum punch, and cruise through Grenada's stunning scenery in our unique and fun tuk-tuks. It's the perfect blend of adventure and island flavor. Book your unforgettable tour now at ride.gd or call 473-422-1011. Don't just see Grenada, experience it with Ride Tuk-Tuk Rum Punch Tours today.